What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Whiskey Dixon. I'm Sugarbear.
And I'm Curt.
And we are reviewing Glenfiddich 15 Solera. What did we call each other last night? Yes. Glenfiddich 15 Solera is probably the most consistent whiskey in existence. I would even say this is like the Sierra Nevada of Scotch whiskeys. And what's interesting about it, the Solera vat they use means that it's only going to be better every time. It's such a genius way of aging whiskey. A Solera vat, for those of you who don't know, is essentially like a giant room-sized cask. It's just a big wooden tub. They blend 15-year whiskeys aged in sherry casks, bourbon casks, and virgin oak casks. And essentially, they've been doing this for like 40 years, so every batch potentially has whiskey that's so much older than 15 years in it. And that's what keeps not only a consistent product, but a product that gets better and better every year. And so this is just a genius whiskey. It only comes in at, I think this is an 80 proof, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, only 80 proof. I wish it was a little higher, but really for 80 proof, it has so much flavor. It doesn't taste thin or watered down at all. I just wouldn't mind even more of that, but red apple is like the first, just boom, red candy apple.
This is
smell like candy apple.
This is like my expectations for what I hope for when I open a good sherry 12 or 15 year.
Raisins. Sweet oak. So much raisin, actually, so much raisin and apple. A little bit of cinnamon.
Just a lot of honey and dried fruit.
Honey and dried fruit, big time. A little bit of vanilla, I get that. Get that on the finish. It's actually a really long finish. It's it really stays with you.
I think that comes with the age.
Yeah,
the sherry color and the age of the other whiskeys. I feel like
there's other 15s that aren't really this deep and that don't have that long of a finish, and I think that's the Solera vat. That's the genius of the Solera vat. And Glenfiddich is actually the largest single malt distillery in all of Scotland, and I think they have like 17 stills going at any time. They were so successful that they built 2 more distilleries right next to them, one of which you've probably heard of, which is Balvenie, and then a smaller one which they use for their blends, which is called Kinninvie. And yeah, it's interesting. Glenfiddich is sort of like considered, I don't want to say the Budweiser of Scotch, because it's so good. Like that's the thing about Scotch whiskeys. Even the biggest distillery that produces the most whiskey makes amazing whiskey. I would even go as far as to say this is one of the best. This is one of the best whiskeys for the money that you can buy. As far as 15 years go now, they're getting so expensive. This stays relatively cheap for that age statement, and the flavor and the quality are always there, and it's better every time. Every time you buy this, it's a little better, which is nuts. I can't think of another whiskey that's just better every time.
Yeah, I have this one and the newer release of this. I have several bottles of this 15-year Solera right now. I plan on keeping it around. It's definitely my favorite 15-year. That's reasonably priced.
It's probably my favorite Glenfiddich too.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
As Glenfiddichs go, skip the 12 and just go to this. If you've never had anything from Glenfiddich, don't bother with the 12s. Shell out a few more bucks and buy this. It's always worth it. This is always worth the money. This is one of the best values in single malt Scotch whiskey. Yeah, I mean, just so classic Glenfiddich.
The price point on this one.
I'll take another one.
Yeah, the price point on this one, when you can find it, is so good that it almost makes it hard to buy 12-year sherry. Because it's just so good.
I agree. I think that for this price, there's a lot of 12 years that cost as much as this that are nowhere near this quality. I will say this though, I wouldn't call it the most complex whiskey. I would say that the flavor notes that are there's only maybe like 4 or 5, but they're so clean cut. They're so recognizable and just right there. And I think that's what makes this such a approachable, amazing whiskey. Like you could pour this for somebody who's not really into Scotch, and they will be impressed. They'll be like, okay, that's
definitely.
That's delicious. Yeah, just honey, raisins, dried apples. That's about it. But I mean, that's all you need. Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, this one definitely stays on my shelf. No complaints here.
Yeah, I need to go buy another one of these. Like now, drinking this, I'm like, yeah, I should buy this again. It's been a bit. It's been a couple months. I should probably get another one. I guess that about wraps it up. Any final thoughts on the old?
This is just a great whiskey for the value.
This is a classic. This is one of our go-tos. Like pretty much all the people that you see reviewing whiskey with me, they all love this. This is a very beloved whiskey by the whiskey community.
Even the more expensive Glenfiddich whiskeys, I don't think are better.
No, not necessarily.
This one is just incredible.
Yeah, I would probably take this over the 18. There's a couple like small, like the 15 Distillers Edition, which is a totally different whiskey. It's really good. It's really rare. You're gonna have a hard time finding it. So yeah, this is everywhere. It's totally awesome. Very reasonably priced. It has an age statement on it, and there's really no reason not to buy this. This is, if you drink Scotch and you haven't had this, you're missing out. Go buy this right now. Well, follow us on Instagram. Please give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Let us know if there's anything else you want us to review. Till next time, Sugarbear,
Curt.
Cheers. Keep on drinking.